All those planets, creatures and horizons. I haven't seen them yet. Not with these eyes. And it is gonna be fantastic.
Hi everyone, TARDIS Garment3 here, and today I'm going to be doing another top 10 video, this time looking at my top 10 10th Doctor stories. Now, when I was watching The Day of the Doctor, which is almost a year ago now, that's quite worrying, but I realised how much I loved David Tennant's Doctor. I mean, he really was a good Doctor, I think, and, after Series 4, my interest in Doctor Who waned quite a lot because of the specials and whatnot. A lot of time had passed, and I still watched it when it was on, but I didn't really have that interest I had before. And then when it came up to kind of the 50th year, I started getting more and more classic DVDs, and then fell in love with the classic era. But I think David Tennant is still a very good Doctor, and like Christopher Eccleston, an essential part of my childhood. So yeah, let's jump right in with this top 10 at Stolen Earth / Journey's End.
He did. And I've wondered about that for a long time, whether I was wrong. But I stand by my actions to this day because I knew that one day the Earth would be in danger and the Doctor would fail to appear.
Now then, this story has quite a bit of good stuff going on with it and quite a bit of bad. Now, as you probably tell from that clip, Rose is being a bit snobbish, and to be honest, I don't really like Rose that much at all, really. She's probably the biggest flaw in this episode, but anyway, Russell T Davies loved Rose. That was one of his problems. He had his favourites like the Daleks and Rose and whatnot, and he definitely showed them through in his work. Like, he wants you to sympathise with Rose and kind of turn against Martha, but I'm really sympathising with Martha in that one. So yeah, that's but anyway, it's a good episode. It's epic is a term not often used correctly, but I think here this episode deserves the word epic, even if a lot of it is just literally throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at a wall and seeing what sticks. What does end up sticking is fairly good. Julian Bleach is great as Davros. So now, without further ado, let's move on to number 9, and that is Blink.
I don't know what stopped you talking, but I can guess. They're coming. The angels are coming for you, but listen, your life could depend on this. Don't blink. Don't even blink. Blink and you're dead. They are fast, faster than you could believe. Don't turn your back. Don't look away, and don't blink. Good luck.
I personally think Blink is a bit overrated. I never really understood how a Doctor Who episode that barely features Doctor could be voted as the number 1 Doctor Who episode, or one of the number 1 Doctor Who episodes at least. But it is still an enjoyable Doctor Who episode. I think it's more down to the creation of the Weeping Angels, which has kind of become tired at this point. I mean, they were popular as a one-off monster. They fit this story, and they were most of this story. But unfortunately, take them out of that, and you can only do the same gimmick so many times. And, they've added new stuff to it, and that's good. But, nevertheless, I think Weeping Angels, not the best monsters, but here they're good. So, now let's move on to 8th place, and that is the Sontaran Stratagem and the Poison Sky.
There's a Sontaran.
Did you see him?
No, it's back to me.
Right, Donna, listen. On the back of his neck, on his collar, there's a sort of plug, like a hole, the probic vent. One blow to the probic vent knocks him out.
But he's gonna kill me.
I'm sorry. I swear, I'm so sorry, but you've got to try.
Okay, I'm not sure what it is that I like about this story. The Sontarans aren't exactly at their best. It's lacking in regulars at this point. You've now got Kate Lethbridge-Stewart and what's the other one's name? Osgood, that's it. But at this point, it's not really flowing that well. But nevertheless, this is a great story. And I guess you could say Martha Jones actually regular for Unit, but it's a great story. Good enough. Sontarans, not the best portrayal, but it's not as bad as it will become. So yeah, that's 8th place. Now let's move on to 7th place, and that is the Christmas Invasion.
Doctor! What are you doing? We can't just leave him.
Now then, the Christmas Invasion was the first Christmas special, and one of the best in my opinion. You know, there's a lot to like about the story. It's the first 10th Doctor story. The Sycorax are an effective monster. You've got the Santa robot, pilot fish things, whatever they are. And they're good in this story. You unfortunately get that kind of like thing repeated, but not in the same way. But, you know, here it's good, and it all comes together very nicely. So now let's move on to 6th place, and that is Silence in the Library and the Forest of the Dead.
Okay, got a live one. That's not darkness down those tunnels. This is not a shadow. It's a swarm. An eating swarm. The piranhas of the air. The Vashta Nerada. Literally the shadows that melt the flesh.
So then Moffat's last script before he became showrunner, and it's kind of like, it's one of his good ones, you know, it's a classic scary story. You know, it's got a lot of good elements. It's sort of setting up his era with River Song in here, but River Song's at her best here, I think. She's not nearly as annoying as she would become later. So yeah, that's 6th place, and now moving on to 5th place, we have The Fires of Pompeii.
What's he buying a big wooden box for? Modern art! Out of the way, that's it.
Oh, Rhombus, I'm a little bit peckish. Get me some ants and honey, there's a good lad. Ooh, maybe a dormouse?
Now this story has a lot of stuff going for it. You know, in hindsight, it's the first story to feature Peter Capaldi, who would later become the Doctor, as he is now, and yet you can see a bit of that rubbing off in here. Apparently you're going to get an explanation for why he looks the same. I don't really want one, but anyway, you know, there's also a lot of other stuff here. Donna gets a lot to do here. This is where she really comes into her own as a companion, and this is when she really starts becoming my favourite companion to the new series, and yeah, there's just loads of good stuff. So now let's move on to 4th place, which is The Waters of Mars.
Imagine you found yourself somewhere, I don't know, Pompeii.
Imagine you were in Pompeii
What the hell's that got to do with it?
and you tried to save them.
But in doing so, you make it happen. Anything I do just makes it happen.
Captain, we need you right now. I'm still here.
The penultimate David Tennant story, and also the best, in my opinion, of the 2008 to 2010 specials. You know, they were hit and miss for the most part. Not all of them were that enjoyable, unfortunately, but this one is definitely the highlight. Don't know why it was so difficult to say that word, but anyway, this is the highlight of those, in my opinion, and it is absolutely incredible. So now let's move on to number 3, and that is The Family of Blood / Human Nature, or Human Nature / Family of Blood is actually the order it goes in. Anyway, let's begin.
He never raised his voice. That was the worst thing. The fury of the Time Lord. And then we discovered why. Why this doctor, who had fought with gods and demons, why he'd run away from us and hidden. He was being kind.
Now, there's something about Russell T Davies' era that he always has those 2-part stories, the middle 2-part stories of a series, and they are often the highlight of that series. You know, they don't really carry on the arc or anything, but they are always incredible. You know, The Empty Child / Doctor Dances, The Impossible Planet / Satan Pit, this one, and Silence in the Library, and you could almost count The Waters of Mars in a way as that kind of like that part of the specials because it's there. But this story is amazing. It's got an incredible setting. You know, it was originally a novelisation for the Seventh Doctor, but nevertheless, it's incredible. So now let's move on to second place, and that is Turn Left.
Oh, you're fascinating. No, but you're good. I can see a man. The most remarkable man. How did you meet him?
You're supposed to tell me.
I see the future. Tell me the past. When did your lives cross?
It's sort of complicated. I ended up in his spaceship on my wedding day. Long story.
But what led you to that meeting?
All sorts of things. But my job.
There's something utterly incredible about this dystopian world with Donna at the heart of it, because at this point, you know, Donna's character is incredible. I really do love her character at this point. And also you've got Wilf, her granddad, who is also incredible. And you just got ingredients for a great episode. It's nothing monumental, but there's something just so incredibly amazing about it. And it's such a clever story. So now let's move on to first place, which is probably most of you have guessed by now, The Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit.
We are the Legion of the Beast.
Rose? What is it, Rose? I'm going back up.
Report! Report! Jefferson, report! Someone, report!
The Legion shall be many, and the Legion shall be few.
See you.
So we have contamination of the livestock.
Doctor, I don't know what it is. It's like they're possessed.
They won't listen to us.
He has woven himself in the fabric of your life since the dawn of time. Some may call him Abaddon, some may call him Hub.
Now this story is absolutely incredible, and in my opinion it's probably the best from New Who. It's the best it's got to offer, and it's just incredible. I mean, it has got minor flaws. I mean, the kiss between Rose and the Doctor before he goes down is probably the single biggest one I can think of. You know, that annoys me, but that's more to do with Rose's character. Most of my flaws in this episode have to do with Rose. In fact, all of them really have to do with Rose, because other than that, it is fantastic. And Rose isn't even that bad in the story. So it all just comes together incredibly. The idea of the beast and everything, well, it has been done before in Doctor Who. It's still done great here. It's got such justice done to it. Everything works well. It is scary, as you can possibly imagine. Everything just comes together so nicely in this story. So that's why it is #1. So thanks for watching this top 10 video, everyone. Please share your thoughts on the 10th Doctor and whatnot down below. I mean, I know he's kind of a fan favourite with new series fans. You know, he's kind of looked down upon by classic series fans in a lot of ways. So, you know, I like him. He's not bad. He's definitely not my favourite Doctor. I like all the Doctors, but he's not really the favourite. I'd have to do a ranking of the Doctors at some point, but anyway, running out of time. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.